Okay, let's. How do you think Moses is saved? You might say miraculously. Who rears Moses? Yeah, the Pharaoh's daughter, right? So Moses is reared in the royal palace. How do you think this might affect his later mission, just on a human level? So after being reared in the lap of luxury, he's going to go out to his fellow Hebrews in solidarity with them, right? I mean, could you imagine this? You're out, and again, the Israelites, according to other texts in Exodus 12 and like, have been in servitude for 400 years. Okay, now this fellow who has been reared in the lap of luxury comes out to us and says, okay, God has spoken to me. He's going to lead us out. Come with me. You're thinking, hey, God, you're not one of us. You've been in that palace. So just imagine. I mean, you're imagine the difficulty that Moses would face, but even the people to look at Moses as their leader. You see that? Your eyes go up if you're worried. Moses is reared in the lap of luxury. He's reared in the palace. On the other hand, he would have been taught to read and write. So that explains something of, in part, the origin of portions of the Scriptures. He would have had a great education, especially what's going on in that 18th, 19th dynasty in Egypt. So just on a human level, when he comes out and tries to claim solidarity with the slaves, he's not one of them in their eyes. They're saying, who do you think you are? And you see that in the account in chapter 2 where he goes out, he sees an Egyptian beating a Hebrew. He defends the Hebrew and ends up killing the Egyptian. He goes out later, sees two Hebrews fighting. He says, brothers, why are you fighting? And they say, who made you prince over us? You going to kill us too? So rather than scoring the points he thinks maybe he needed, they don't see him as a kindred spirit at all. Then Moses flees, and then he sees the famous account of the burning bush and the revelation of the divine name. So what is... let's take a look at a couple things here. In verse 3:13. Then Moses said to God, if I come to the people of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, they ask me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? Now, just pause for a second, think about that. If they're going to say, what's his name? What do I say to them? We're going to see this further, but this is probably indicative of the state of Israelite spirituality at this point. In other words, they've been in a polytheistic culture for some 400 years. If I go back, they're going to say, well, which God sent you? What's his name? You see? They're going to say, which God is it? What's his name? Because they've been engrossed in a polytheistic culture. This is going to come out again. It says, I am who am. I am. This is the way it's typically translated, which you have to transliterate. Yahweh is called the Tetragrammaton, these 4 letters, because there's no vowels in the original. Translated, I am who am. The Greek translation is Ha'om, which means something like he who is. This is that's a W. It's an omega, but it looks like a W. This is the participle of the verb to be. Okay, well, what's all this about? Well, the name Yahweh is built on the Hebrew word hayah, which is the verb to be. So in other words, it's taken that the name itself signifies his character, his identity, his nature, his being. He is the one who is. Think back to our earlier discussion about God's existence between contingent and necessary being. The God is the one who simply is. He's the one who cannot not exist. As other things that are contingent exist, but they don't have to, He cannot not exist. He is a self-existent necessary being. That's really what all those proofs were trying to get at. And the divine name signals something similar. That He is the one who is, built on the verb to be, Hayah, Yahweh. He is the one who causes things to be, and He's the one who is the guarantor of the covenant blessings. He will make it happen. In Exodus 6:3, just take a note of this. God said to Moses, I am the Lord. And again, whenever you see capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D, that's Yahweh. If it's all caps, that's Yahweh. It's how the English translates Yahweh. If it's just capital L, small O or D, it's not Yahweh. It's usually Adonai or something like that. And God said, I am Yahweh, is what that says. I'm the Lord. I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as El Shaddai, God Almighty. But by my name, the Lord, by my name, Yahweh, I did not make myself known to them. It seems to suggest that the revelation of the divine name is new here, with the covenant that will be established with Israel. Then again, it's a more intimate name than simply God or El Shaddai, God Almighty, and the like. So just note that. And then let me ask one question, and then I'll let you go. What does Moses go to ask Pharaoh? What is plan A?
If the males can go for a sacrifice, more or less.
Yeah. Plan A, you might say. He didn't say, "Hey, can we just leave?" He says, "Can we go out and have a sacrifice?" And eventually, Pharaoh's going to say in chapter 8, "Why don't you do it here?" And what does he say? If we do it here, will not the Egyptians stone us? For we will need to sacrifice things that are an abomination to the Egyptians. In other words, you might say plan A is simply for the Israelites to come out of Egypt and to offer sacrifice. Why? To rid them of their idolatry. Because they've been in this polytheistic context for so long. And you're going to see this as part and parcel of the reason for all the sacrificial laws. Now they need to slay these things to prove that they do not worship these idolatrous deities. Pharaoh says, no, and then they leave. And that's how it happens. But note that initial request, that they may go and serve Evan, worship the Lord in the wilderness. Okay, for your homework, read 12, I'm going to shorten it, 12 to 19 and then 24. 12 to 19 and then 24. Exodus 12 to 19 and then 24. It originally said 12 to 24. I already cut out a few.